Hey guys! I think we're live.
Yeah, welcome back to the award show Audit.
Yeah, it's about time, right?
Yeah. Hello, hello. Let me know that I'm too quiet.
And let me know that I'm too quiet, because that's how it
Yep,
always goes.
yep. Welcome, welcome. Got so much to talk about this week. Two whole shows.
Oh yeah.
You hear nice? I hear good.
I hear good too.
Hmm. We are not quiet. Hello, baked good person is awesome and light reflection chain.
Okay.
Uh,
I don't know what that
did
means.
did you see the Family Guy vaccine PSA where Brian and Stewie shrink down and go inside Peter's body? Did you, Shadow?
No, I'm never watching one of those episodes again. As
It's
long
not an
as I
episode, it's a
live.
PSA.
I don't care. I'm never watching one as long as I live. I've seen enough go inside the body things for the rest of eternity.
I appreciate the message, but no, I probably won't be watching that. Thank you for the super chat, Redway 2, who says, "Wow, 2004, the year of the angry video game nerd." Wow.
Wow.
Well, we're gonna take you back to the past.
Ooh.
Yeah, sorry about last week. Basically what had happened was I had tickets to something that we had gotten back when the award show audit was on Thursdays. And so it completely blew my mind that the ticket not blew my mind. It completely slipped my mind that the ticket was on a Tuesday. And then I got sick and missed the event anyway, but also didn't wasn't up to doing this either. So yeah, but we don't intend on taking any more breaks for a while, right?
Yeah, unless something else comes up unexpectedly, but otherwise,
Yeah.
no, we're good for each week.
Yeah. And thank you for the super chat, Tim. What are our thoughts on bottle episodes? Oh, I think I've talked about bottle episodes. I think I mentioned the term with Bob's Burgers a few weeks ago. In a well-written show that uses it to develop characters and create like good interpersonal conflict, it can be fantastic. In a show where nothing at all happens, it's just another layer of boring because there's no interesting change of scenery.
Yeah, I pretty much agree. It can be a great opportunity to take advantage of characters, and especially having multiple characters' dynamics bounce off of each other.
Yep.
And if it's done well, it can be great. But if it's not, it's just like he said, it's very, very boring and
Right.
unsatisfying to watch. So
It basically like strips away location from the elements of everything. You know what I mean?
yeah,
It's like silent episodes, right? Silent episodes, or not silent, but like no dialogue episodes, strip away dialogue or voices, right? Which isn't so. If you're doing that, you better raise the stakes in other ways, and there are some pretty fantastic ones out there.
yeah, like restrictions like that can be a great way to allow creativity to flourish if you find interesting and exciting ways to work around that limitation. It makes things way more enjoyable when it manages to be done successfully. The problem is when it's not, it ends up falling flat on its face, and the risk ends up being to its detriment instead. So,
Yeah,
yeah.
basically. Um, and of course, yeah, like shows like Community are really, really good at it because Community is ultimately a show about the characters. So,
Mhm.
you know, it helps the more characters you have. But someone mentioned it, and yeah, the Brian and Stewie, the episode where it's just those two in like a bank vault, is pretty good, or at least pretty good for to Family Guy
Mhm.
fans. So, all right, well, the year is 2004. Shall we see what movies are going on in 2004?
Yes, let's.
You can fill some time while I Google it.
Okay, well, Alex asks, is Gendy Tarkovsky here? You'll have to
I
keep
don't.
watching to find out.
Yeah, he
He
might show
might
up.
show up, you never know.
Mm-hmm. Oh, we already did that last. That's right. Never mind. I was gonna say, wow, Shrek 2 again. We've already done it.
Shrek 2 was so good, it was the best movie in 2004 twice. That's why they called it Shrek 2.
Wanna, why don't we find out what TV shows premiered in 2004?
Okay, that works. That works.
Lost,
Ooh. There you go.
House, Desperate
Oh.
Housewives,
Ooh.
Some
exciting.
cartoons. Oh, Drake, Josh, and
The Josh and the other guy.
yeah, Justice League Unlimited.
Hey, there you go. That's got a
Ned's
awesome
Declassified, Danny Phantom,
It's gonna catch them all.
and the Batman.
The Batman. Oh, that's
The
the one
Batman.
where
Yes.
the one where Kevin Michael Richardson is the Joker, doing the exact voice you'd expect him to.
Yep.
Yep.
Also, the Video Game Nerd made it on this TV series list somehow.
Oh wow.
Okay.
Good for him.
There you go, guys. Now that we're all properly back in 2004, Scooby-Doo. I mean, yeah, there probably was something Scooby-Doo in 2004.
What's New Scooby-Doo did come out in 2004, I think.
Really? I feel like it was earlier than that.
Maybe it was earlier.
Mm.
It was airing at that time. I know that much.
Yes. All right. So, Shadow, what are the 2 nominees for the hour or more category? Even though we had something an hour long in the other category. Yeah. What do we got this week, bud?
All right, this week we got, as you said, a whopping 2 nominees. The first of which is none other than my favorite show of all time, the Powerpuff Girls, with their Christmas special, "'Twas the Fight Before Christmas." And the other nominee is a thing that we've talked about once before, and that is the first 20 chapters of Star Wars Clone Wars, the 2003 micro series by Genndy Tartakovsky.
Well, no, hang on. That's not the full title. That's not. I gotta get up Disney Plus because the full title of this show is the most.
Disney Plus's title is not what it was originally called.
No, this was the original title. Ready? You guys ready for this? It's called. Oh shoot, where is it? Oh no, I can't find it. It's gone now.
This isn't the original title. It's Disney's retcon, fake, not legitimate title that they need to distinguish it from the other series they consider canon.
It is called. Oh, I like how it's at the back. It's at the very last of the vintage.
It literally is.
It's called Star Wars Vintage Clone Wars 2D Micro Series Volume 1.
Yep. That is what it's called.
Star Wars Vintage Clone Wars 2D Micro Series Volume 1. Now, it's got to be called Star Wars Vintage because it's no longer canon.
Yep.
It's got to be called 2D because there's the 3D Clone Wars.
Yep.
It's got to be called a Micro Series because it's a series of shorts. And it's got to be Volume 1 because it's the first chunk of those shorts.
It's the first 2 seasons, and then the 3rd season was separate. And it was also, anyway, we'll get back to that when we get to that one. Unless you want to start with it. I don't care which one we start with.
I don't care which one we start with either.
Okay, we're on the topic. Let's just keep going with Star Wars Clone Wars. So yes.
All right. So we did talk about this a few weeks ago. We talked about the Volume 2. Volume 1, as you mentioned, was the first 2 seasons and a lot more, I guess, disconnected, like a lot more anthology-ish. Whereas Volume 2 felt more like there's like kind of 3 or 4-ish stories that they cut between. Still felt somewhat anthology-ish, but this one I felt hopped around a lot more.
Yeah.
And it seemed like they were shorter. I could kind of tell where each episode ended. It's all cut together in one long thing. It's 70 minutes. Yeah, so the plot is I don't know, man. The Clone Wars. Yeah. The Clone Wars are raging. Anakin starts disobeying Obi-Wan and fighting off Kree Summer. I don't know the name of that Jedi.
Asajj Ventress. She's not a Jedi.
Oh, whatever. Sith. It's all the same. And then it ends with General Grievous coming in and just murdering everyone, including Shaggy. The Jedi. Shakti.
Not Shaggy.
No, I'm pretty sure it's Shaggy.
Zoinks.
Well, the one looked like Shaggy.
Oh no.
I'm talking about Shaggy.
That was just some generic Padawan that served no actual narrative purpose.
He got stepped on.
Other than he got killed. Yeah.
He got jumped. He literally just like disappeared. Like General Grievous jumped on him and he just stopped existing.
Yeah.
It's like Jet and Avatar. They can't show him die, so they'll just have him like
the same exact thing happened in the giant fight scene where Ventress was fighting all the monsters, and she just pulls all these boulders from the ceiling, and they just crush the monsters, and they just disappear as the boulder crushes them. It's like, where did they go? Like, yeah.
Oh, we got a plot summary from a fan who super chatted it. Thank you, Toon J. War. The Republic is crumbling under attacks by the ruthless Sith Lord Count Dooku. They are heroes on both sides. Evil is everywhere. What the heck does that mean? Heroes? What kind of both sides argument is that?
Cut all of that out and just go with plot summary. War. That's all you need.
Anakin just wants to grill.
Everything following that is war.
Anakin's an enlightened centrist. He just wants to grill. He's playing both sides.
Yep.
Heroes on both sides. Get out of here. What is this?
Yeah. Okay, so
I don't think Toon J wrote that. I think you copied that.
I'm pretty sure you copied it from somewhere.
Yeah, I wasn't making fun of you, Toon J. It's just it's a weird way to describe it.
War.
According to
thing.
According to the Disney Plus, the description is delve deep into Star Wars adventures with chapters 1 through 20 of this exciting animated series. They can't be bothered to describe anything that happens in it.
Nope, not at all.
Yep. Count Dookie is from Johnny Test. You're right.
Oh my gosh. Oh, Christopher Lee. Oh man, what a great actor. I can't believe he voiced Dookie from Johnny Test. I mean, to be fair, James Arnold Taylor is Obi-Wan and Johnny Test, so, like, there's a connection. I'm just saying.
Okay.
Anyway.
Okay. So I guess I'll start off by saying I don't think this was quite as good as Volume 2, as it's called. I thought this was a little long and a little... I thought this was worse for having been compiled, to be completely honest. I would have rather watched this as a series of like 5 or 8 minute shorts or, you know, whatever they were that I could take breaks from in between, because watching it as a whole, although there's still many things to like about it, there's still great action and the stories that are told are interesting. There are some cool characters, some expansion on Star Wars lore, certainly. I just kind of felt like it was a bit long for jumping around to too many different stories. It felt like a series of shorts that were awkwardly strung together in a way where the music was faded out, just because I assume it faded into credits originally, where you could play out the rest of the music. But here, the credits are at the end. So I thought this was worse for having been put all together. I still thought it was pretty good and enjoyable, but I did find my attention was waning in parts.
Yeah. And that's the thing, is it's an unfortunate side effect, because the series was produced with the intent of being, they were actually just 3-minute segments each. It was just intended to be a 3-minute thing that played on Cartoon Network in between shows, really, really briefly, and that's all. So it's just kind of the unfortunate side effect of watching it in its current state as it is today.
And there's no option on Disney Plus to watch it just as, and it stinks. I mean, because to put it into perspective, the Volume 2 was chapters 21 through 25. So that's only, what, 4 episodes?
5 episodes.
5 episodes? Like, you know what I mean? Like, mashing 5 episodes together is what it is. But mashing 20 chapters of a miniseries all together, it's like...
Yeah. I mean, the thing is, though, is that, like you said, it is definitely, like, disjointed in the way it's kind of stitched together. But... other than, like, you know, a couple mini side stories, there is one bigger story going on that just has a bunch of things happening simultaneously, and it's the plot of, you know, Obi-Wan and Anakin going to that planet, Anakin being in charge of the Star Battle, who then gets led astray to go follow after Ventress, while Obi-Wan is taking over on the ground and defeating the Separatists there. You know, and that's kind of like the biggest plot of this volume. And then there's also the many things, like I really enjoyed the 3-part sequence with Mace Windu going to fight all of the super battle droids. That's like my favorite sequence. And like,
my favorite.
The giant like space piston that the droids just shoot down onto the ground and like cause this huge crater to appear. Great animation during that sequence. The whole like fist fight moment where Mace Windu is just punching these droids at like super speeds, crushing them. It's incredible. I really love the Kit Fisto sequence, especially with his underwater lightsaber, which is cool because you don't really ever
I'm
see that.
sorry. I'm sorry. A guy named Kit Fisto is fighting the calamari.
Yeah. Yeah. The Mon calamari, to be
Who
exact.
who named those things? I don't think it
George
was Gendy.
Lucas.
Yeah. Yeah. Mhm.
Um, but yeah, I mean, it's definitely disjointed, and I agree. It's better watched in its original state, where you're just watching it in smaller chunks. And I
Yeah.
definitely think the Volume 2 flows better. It's also important to keep in mind that Volume 2, aka Season 3, was made with the intent of just being one kind of story broken into 5 episodes, whereas these were meant to be more anthology-like. Um, but I will say, Gendy, it's Gendy. I mean, the animation's great. As we mentioned before, the CG blends with the 2D art style really, really well. I love the cel shaded effects that they have on the 3D models. It looks great. The shots where there's a lot like of soldiers or of ships in space, it looks really, really cool. I love the fight scenes as per always.
Yoda shipped was really cool. Yoda
Yeah,
ship, the design.
absolutely. The lightsaber battles are great. Grievous just cleaning house
Oh
at
my
the end.
god,
That's
that
the
was
best
so
fight of the
cool.
whole season, dude. I love the
Yeah,
way they animate him. Like he's so like slippery and bendy, and he just like when he's got the whole like 360 twirl going around with his
he
arms against
reminds me
like
of
five Jedi at once.
he reminds me of Sonic breakdancing.
Yeah, yeah, basically. It's great, man, dude. I love the action. That's the best part of the whole thing.
It's kind of dumb though that like so he steals a lightsaber to use as a third lightsaber, but then he just leaves the ones on his belt unused. Like if he could have fought with three lightsabers,
He could
why
fight
didn't he
with
do?
four, you know?
Well, then why didn't he do that instead of leaving them on his belt to be stolen?
Because
The
he only has
dummy.
to fight with four when he needs to prove how menacing he is. Those Jedi weren't worth his time. They weren't worth four
Mm,
lightsabers. But yeah,
Shaggy was worth it. Shaggy was defeated with zero lightsabers. He
yeah,
got
it's
stepped
pathetic.
on.
He yelled, ran outside, and got stepped on. That was it.
Oh, wait, hang on. I gotta do an
I'll do
impression
it.
real
Do it.
quick. All right, thanks for the super chat. Disney's Star Wars Vintage Clone Wars 2D Micro Series Volume 1 is the most disappointing thing since my son. uh,
Oh, classic.
so, yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't really know what to say. I guess, like, I was not, like, crazy about the Padme and Yoda on the ice planet. I thought that was
I
just
love,
kind
yeah.
of, like, I mean, Padme's just not interesting. Like, I guess that they wanted to include more women in this, which is completely fair, but like I just don't think Padme is an interesting character. At least not as she's presented in these animated ones. Great Delisle voice, generic lady. Like what is her personality in this? I don't know, she wants to help Yoda. She's an action girl,
She
even though
blows up
she's a princess.
C-3PO.
Yeah, like she uses C-3PO as a decoy. I
Yeah.
don't know. I was not a fan of her. I thought that the Sith lady played by Cree Summer was a lot cooler. Um,
I think that going back and watching this, because I haven't seen the 2003 series in a long time before
mhm.
the award show audit. After having seen the CG Clone Wars series up to like almost through the entirety of season 5, I actually can say that I prefer the 2008 series a lot more,
Wow.
because, like we said, this is very disjointed and quick.
Yeah.
I like the storytelling and the pacing of the 2008 series a whole lot more. The character portrayals are very similar.
Mm.
And fun fact, Ventress was originally made for this series.
Who's Ventress?
Cree Summers' character,
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Ventress. She was made for this series, and then they brought her back for the 2008 series, and she doesn't have a lot of time in this one, unfortunately. Dooku hires
Yeah.
her. Darth Sidious is like, all right, she's a pawn. And then
Yeah.
she dies, and that's it. I like the 2008 series. They expand on her character so much more. I like her a lot more in the 2008 series compared to this. Still cool. It's still an awesome fight between her and Anakin.
Yeah, but I mean, which series has Anakin's strong jaw?
Well, that's
his
yeah.
his superpowered chin there. Looks like the Crimson
He
Chin.
kind of does a little bit.
No, I mean some of the art style is very weird, but it does give it a very distinct appeal, like feeling.
Yeah.
Even if I can't say every like, I don't know that I agree with some of the weird chin stuff going on.
Dude,
but
how about Chancellor Palpatine's fingers? Let's go.
He had some crazy teeth too.
He really does.
Yeah. But you know what? You know what I was wondering this whole time? Where was Yaddle?
I thought you were gonna say, where was Jar Jar?
No, oh no, I never wonder
Jar
that.
Jar's the key to all of this.
Oh my gosh.
We can get him working.
Yeah, I don't think he worked.
Yeah, I don't think he did either. But he's in the 2008 series, so that makes it better by default, right?
Oh no, no. So yeah, I don't know what else to say. I mean, it's just good, but it's just kind of like Robot Chicken in that like a lot of it is short vignettes that they don't lend themselves to much discussion here, you know. And the Volume 1 does everything that Volume 2 did, but like a little worse, I guess. Not I hate to say worse because it's like the cinematography, the animation, the action, the flow, like it's all still top notch. But I think that Volume 2 really stepped it up. So I'm a little at a loss for what to say just because I feel like I've said it already.
For what it's worth, and this doesn't really affect the quality of the special, but in terms of Star Wars lore, I could be wrong. There might be something, like maybe a video game, probably definitely a book, but as far as like TV show, movie, that sort of stuff, this is the first time we get to see a lightsaber and how it's built. So
yeah.
That's special. That's like the best thing I can say about the Ilum sequence. That's the planet that they're on.
Straight up Ilum.
Yeah. Like, I like this because, like, you know, there are a lot of cool Star Wars mythos things that kind of get shown off in the Clone Wars series that you don't see in the movies. And anyone who doesn't read the books or play the video games or, you know, find Star Wars media elsewhere to see it here, it's kind of a cool experience. And back when I was a kid and I watched this for the first time, you know, it was fascinating to me because I never got into reading the extended universe books or anything like that. This was kind of my delve into the next step past the movies when it came to Star Wars media. So it'll always hold like a special place for me in that sense, because I really do appreciate, you know, I appreciate the effort that Gendy and his team put into it when it was coming out, when it was airing. You know, a lot of the same things that I said a couple weeks ago about the Volume 2 can also be applied to Volume 1. So yeah, like you said, there's only so much we can really say that we haven't already talked about. I agree that Volume 1 is a little weaker than Volume 2 based on just the way it's kind of constructed and compiled. But still, it has a lot of things to like, and I think that Star Wars fans can definitely get some stuff out of this. Even if the faces, like you said, can be a little weird at times.
Yeah. Yeah, no, absolutely. I do recommend watching, but like, you know, pause it. Come back to it later if there's any point that you're not like super enthralled. I wanted to watch it all in one chunk because that's how it was nominated, so I felt that was like the appropriate thing to do, but I would have rather not watched it that way personally. It's good that this is on Disney Plus. It's kind of sad that it's a little buried on Disney Plus.
Yeah, I agree. Like, I'm glad it's there at all, because it wasn't even on here until like a couple months back. They finally added it.
Yeah.
So I'm glad that it's there for people to see. But yeah, like you said, it is buried. You do have to go out of your way to find it, and the average person probably isn't going to see it ever, really, because you need to know it's there to really find it.
Yeah. It's like hidden behind the Ewok adventures for whatever reason. That one's more prominent.
Good old Disney's got to make sure that the 2008 series is the one that people see.
Yeah.
But
okay.
Yeah.
I'm ready to move on.
All right. So
unless do I hear someone in the wings?
Is someone there at the door?
Hello, it's me, Gendy.
Hey, how you doing, buddy?
Opa, I make the cartoons.
Oh, Gendy, man, you know I really love your stuff. You're so good at this, man. You do a good job.
I make the jaw.
Yeah, you do. Did you know that you were nominated for an Emmy in 2 categories in the same year for animation?
Oh. It's a mistake. I nominate Samurai Jack and Star Wars the 2D Clone War Disney Cartoon Network joint with the chin, the animated show. I nominate them both in the hour-long category.
And what did they do? They put it in. They put them.
Are you making fun of me?
No,
Are you making
Gendy,
fun?
I would never.
I am Gendy Tarkovsky.
You are Gendy Tarkovsky.
Perhaps you know my cousin Gendy Tartakovsky.
No, I haven't heard of him.
I am just Tarkovsky. He's very different.
So what was it like working with Mr. Lucas on this property?
You asked me the questions, the same questions every time. The only restriction,
okay.
I was not allowed to use Yaddle. Yaddle was so important.
Why wouldn't he let you?
Cause he had a show in his mind called the Shockalorian, about a shock trooper who hung out with Yaddle and put Yaddle in a little backpack.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. I'm sorry.
Okay, I leave now. Bye.
I'm sorry your creative vision couldn't be met. Well, that was Gendy, everyone.
Hey!
Gendy Tarkovsky. Woo, yeah. So there was his special guest appearance. We promised you a few weeks ago, and we delivered.
There he is. All right, next up.
All right, is the Powerpuff Girls. 'Twas the fight before Christmas. Heck yeah.
Okay.
Let's go.
Right. So.
All right, so Pie's gonna be the Debbie Downer, and I'm gonna sing its praises.
I didn't say anything.
That sign already has given me bad signs.
Redway 2, you hold that thought about every post-season 4 episode of Powerpuff Girl being dragged out. Okay, so the plot of this is that it's Christmas time, and Princess wants to be a Powerpuff Girl. So she wants to ask for that for Christmas, but she's on the naughty list. So she goes to the North Pole and swaps the naughty list and the good list, even though she is literally the only one on the naughty list, and makes it so that everyone else gets coal and she gets what she wants, which is to be a Powerpuff Girl. The real Powerpuff Girls find out about this and chase her to the North Pole to tell Santa that, you know, she pulled a little sneaky on him.
Yeah.
That's the plot. Yeah, I mean
Halloween. Yeah.
God, Santa is so dumb in this.
Check it.
He is such an idiot. He's like, what is wrong with him? So how does this list get made? That Santa does not know. Like, he doesn't write the list, apparently. The list just exists, and Santa is stupid enough to believe that literally every kid on Earth went from being good to bad? Also, how is Mitch not on the bad list?
Because he didn't throw that snowball, remember?
Oh, okay.
Watching. He saw Mitch didn't throw the snowball. He's like, all right, he redeemed himself. I'll give him a present.
No, but I'm not wrong that that's pretty stupid, right? They don't, I don't think they justify that well.
Oh, no. I definitely agree. That's like the biggest kind of plot oversight in the whole thing is just the way that Santa doesn't realize that he's given everyone but one person goal. And he should know that the one person on the naughty list was the one person on his supposed nice list. Like, if he already made the list and checked it twice, you wouldn't know that. So,
yeah,
like,
and if he actually knew anything about Princess, like, he should know everything about kids or whatever. Like, it's kind of ridiculous. Yeah, I don't know what the Santa's mean. He's just stupid, and I don't like I don't like him. I just don't like him. He's got his disgusting, overly, like, inny belly button, just hanging out in front of these kids. You know, put it away, guy. Like, jeez.
It's a very interesting interpretation of the jolly old elf.
But he's not. But he's not even antagonistic or like tough or anything. Like,
tired. He's just tired, man. He's like, I had a long night delivering coal. I just want some sleep, man. I don't want to be here. Like, that's the kind of vibe I get. This is him after he finished delivering all the presents.
This is the Santa that's voiced by the same guy who did Santa in the first SpongeBob Christmas. Really? Seriously? That's crazy if true.
Huh.
Yeah, I was actually about to bring that up. Like, yeah, there's been Santas that have been, like, kind of drunk, like SpongeBob, or just very like weird or whatever. But this one, he just didn't leave much of an impression. He just kind of seemed dumb and boring. Also, if you could wish for superpowers for Christmas, how does not every kid have superpowers?
No one ever asked.
Shut up.
That was the in-show justification. Do I agree with it? No. I don't think it's a very good joke either. But
No.
that's the in-show justification.
Yeah. So, okay. So here's the thing. This is the Powerpuff Girls. So there are just like some inherently good things about it. This is also the later years of the Powerpuff Girls.
Yep,
so there's
season 5.
inherently some problems.
Mm-hmm.
As oh gosh, what was your name? Redway 2 said earlier, for some reason seasons 5 and 6 have this really big problem where they find like really long, really slow, really drawn out jokes and sequences. Some sequences that aren't even jokes, right? It's just all over the place. It brings the action and the fun just to a grinding halt. A key example of this is Bubbles wakes up and realizes that everyone has coal. Okay, and then the other girls wake up. And so what happens now? We have to have Bubbles explain exactly what she just saw, even though we saw her see it. And then the other girls don't believe her. So she has to say it again. And then the girls don't believe her again. So she recounts the whole thing. And it's just like, it's not a joke. It's not even a joke. If it's supposed to be a joke, it's a terrible joke. But it's literally just repetition for the sake of repetition. And it's very slow. And it comes at kind of the midpoint where you're ready for things to like, you're ready for a fight. Like you're ready for something to happen in the story. And it's just slow and boring, and this is all over the place with seasons 5 and 6. And I mean, Craig McCracken left the show to work on Foster's, and a certain person was put at the helm who is not a great person, but apparently is also not really great at making the show either.
Yep.
I mean, do you disagree with any of that?
No, I don't disagree with any of that, really.
Yeah.
I mean, here's the thing with Twas the Fire Before Christmas for me. It's basically a sine wave in terms of my enjoyment, where it peaks and valleys, right? There's sequences like I love Princess's infiltration in the North Pole, seeing all the different like kind of Christmassy contraptions and all the elves doing different things, and her like having to navigate Mission Impossible style through into Santa's workshop and get to the list.
Yeah,
I love the chase sequence. It's one of the best action sequences like of season 5 and 6. It's so good just watching the girls race Princess to the North Pole, all the action. Like it really picks everything up from all the dreadful like boring waiting around that the first 30 minutes consist of. And it's like I watch this special always just like I watch the first 30 minutes, but I'm always just anticipating the chase sequence because that's when it really it gets good for me. I love watching the girls and Princess kind of race to the North Pole. And, dude, James Venable with his music for this special is, like, during that chase sequence, it goes hard, man. Like, I love it. He does such a great job scoring the Powerpuff Girls series, and he did a great job incorporating Christmas-esque music and Powerpuff Girls music, kind of blending them together. Like, if you really pay attention to the soundtrack, he does a fantastic job. It's one of my favorite things about this special is the music, by far. But yeah, no, I absolutely agree that the pacing is sloppy. There are points where things drag, like you mentioned, that whole sequence. I love how Bubbles gets irritated, but I feel like it takes too long to get to that point. Another joke is the screen cap that we're showing right now, where the lights flicker on, they're like, yay, and then they flicker off, and they're like, oh, and then instead of just ending it there, they do it 2 more times, and each time gets sequentially longer than the previous to get to the same outcome. It's not like the rule of 3 where the third time it switches things up. No, it's the same exact outcome 3 times in a row, no change.
They just need a better editor, really. Like, just cut it down. It's like there are some jokes that work in long form, but you watch season 5 or 6 of the show, and when you have 1 through 4 to compare it to, you know what the pacing should be like, and then it's just not that. Just to say, there are certainly jokes that are slower. The joke about all the people in Princess's life not wanting to tell her that she's a brat. I thought the timing, like when the phone rings in the car and the chauffeur like looks at it slowly, picks it up very slowly, and then after a beat, Princess just screams at him. Like, that's a good slow joke. From classic Powerpuff Girls, the "Eat Your Pee, Professor" joke, like, that is such a long, slow joke, but it's sold through the animation, through the sound effects, through just the hilarity of the situation.
And it makes perfect sense because in context of what's going on, he's trying to drag it out as long as possible so he doesn't get shot in the head. It makes perfect sense. You know, whereas, like you said, here...
Why does Bubbles need to explain 3 times to her sisters what happened?
It doesn't actually have a narrative purpose.
No, there's no punchline and there's no narrative purpose. It feels like it was there to fill out the hour-long runtime. Or sorry, the half hour. How long was this? Was this an hour?
45 minutes.
45 minutes, yeah, that's right.
The same length as Birth of Evil.
Yeah. But it feels like it's there to fill time. I don't know if that's why it's there. I maybe the joke is that it's funny to see Bubbles get really angry, because, I mean, there are classic episodes where Bubbles gets angry, and it's great. But this didn't feel funny. It just felt, like, tedious. Like... Because, again, we saw it. We literally saw it. We saw her fly around and see these things. And it's just like...
yeah.
I don't know.
It takes too long to get there. I see the jokes working. Like you get the idea of what it's going for. But it takes too long. And by the time you've already, like, realized the joke in your head, it's still not even telling it to you yet. So it's like you already know what's coming. You know what to expect. And then it says it. And it's like, oh, yeah. I saw that coming.
When does the original Powerpuff Girls show jump the shark? I mean, well, so seasons 1 through 3 are generally considered pretty great, with a few exceptions. Season 4 kind of does a little bit of a different thing, and it's got some great episodes and some pretty forgettable episodes. Yeah, and then 5 and 6 are very much their own thing. There are still good things in there, like See Me, Feel Me, Know Me. But there's a lot of episodes that are... they feel like they were made for a much younger audience. They feel like they were made with less action and fun in mind, and the comedy is just completely off. Yep. Like it's, yeah. It's
a completely different show.
Yep,
is what it is.
Thanks, Fosters.
Yeah, I mean,
no, I can't blame Craig McCracken for moving on to it. Like, you know, that's good. It was a good career move. It's good for him, but the show suffered.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Yeah, I will say, pretty much, I would consider the first 4 seasons in the movie kind of like OG Powerpuff Girls in its purest form. I mean, Lauren Faust did write on this. Like, she's one of the lead writers for this special. So, like, there were still people who worked on the previous seasons that also worked on season 5 and 6 stuff. Like, not everyone left, but, like, the main guy in charge did. Yeah, I mean, like I said, it's a sine wave. There are peaks and valleys for this. There are a lot of things I like, a lot of things I don't like. Of course, this is Powerpuff Girls, so there was a classic shot of the girls being viewed under a villain's legs, because you gotta have that in something Powerpuff Girls related. That's such an iconic shot. You know, I love watching the girls kind of set up the Christmas decorations. That was a fun sequence. You know, it didn't overstay its welcome. It was just cool to see them do different things. But yeah, I feel like a lot of things could have been cut down, or different things could have been done to, you know, meet the time requirement, but have a little bit more going on. That it would have improved the special. I mean, I don't think it's the worst Christmas special ever. I definitely think it could have been better. And I still come back to it every so often, because like I said, the chase sequence is one of my favorite, like, I shouldn't even say one of, it is my favorite action sequence in seasons 5 and 6, period. Like, I just love the intensity between Princess and the 3 girls racing back and forth.
Media Fanatic wants to know, are we going to talk about the animation mistakes? I didn't notice any personally.
I didn't really
I'm not saying there aren't any, because there always are. And I mean, the early season, the first season of the show is like riddled with animation mistakes. But no, I didn't notice any. And even if I subconsciously did, they weren't big enough to bother me.
Yeah, me neither.
Yeah, personally.
It really, even with all the mistakes that Powerpuff Girls has, it doesn't compare to the reboot. As someone who's seen all of the reboot and all of the original, it doesn't compare.
Here we go.
I'm not gonna get started. I'm past that chapter in my life. I don't have to go back, but just as someone who has both perspectives, it is better than all of the specials from the 2016 reboot. Other than length, I guess, because all the reboot specials are 11 minutes, whereas this is 44. So if you want a shorter Powerpuff special, technically you could watch the reboot, but in terms of writing quality, none of them compare.
Mm.
And in fact, the You're a Good Man Mojo Jojo is one of the worst episodes of the entire reboot. So
Nice.
yeah, that's a Christmas special, and it is garbage. Um, oh, according to Toonjay, both Clone Wars and PPG are animated by the same studio. Interesting.
I thought the animation looked really good.
Yeah, I mean, I think Powerpuff Girls translated pretty well into the digital animation for seasons 5 and 6 compared to the hand-drawn cells.
Yeah.
I don't really have too many complaints. I don't have a issue with them using the movie designs rather than the show designs because, I mean, other than making their limbs a little shorter, it's not that much different. It doesn't bother me. I never really had an issue with it. I like both.
No, yeah. Yeah, I think the things I liked about this are just things that I like about the Powerpuff Girls in general.
Yeah.
I agree that the music was really rocking. You know, it's just nice to see the girls. They're nice characters, but I don't know. So you raved about the chase scene. I just kind of thought it went on too long. Like, I don't know. There's parts of it that are fun and entertaining, but it's a lot of the special, and it I don't know. I guess it ultimately feels just like the crux of this is built on nothing because Santa is such a loser. Like I don't know how to explain it. I mean, I really like Princess. She's one of my favorite villains, and I like that they list off I think every one of her episodes at the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
Like even stuff like Meet the Beatles. But I don't know, just like this long chase that just they don't really like defeat her. They just kind of beat her there. Like I don't know. It just didn't feel big or important to me. It just kind of felt like so even if Princess had gotten there first, what would have really happened? Like she would have been like the Powerpuff Girls are lying to you? Like
Yeah, I mean, ultimately, the final outcome was like it was going to go one direction no matter how it turned out, whether the girls got there first or Princess. But I just like the intensity of the moment and like just see, because obviously Princess has this huge rivalry with the girls, obviously wanting to have the same powers as them. The fact that she can is like her ultimate flaw, and the fact that she finally has the ability to be on par with them. I mean, it really it only makes sense that they're kind of even when it comes down to it.
I would have rathered she used the Christmas thing to get the powers, and then the plot be a little bit more, I don't know, about her trying to rule the world or trying to be a Powerpuff Girl, whatever, like be a hero or whatever she really wants.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, ultimately, she only wants the Powerpuff Girls' powers because it's something she can't have.
Exactly.
That's literally it. But like, so maybe seeing her realize that could have been interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I just feel like there's a lot of ways that the story could have gone and been interesting, but ultimately, I don't know. Her having the powers didn't feel a lot different from when she's got her suit on. I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah, but if you do look back, she only wears her suit a very small number of times throughout the whole series. It's not a very common thing.
I'm just saying I don't know. It feels like there were some good ideas in this. It's I don't hate watching this, but I wouldn't watch it every Christmas or really any. I wouldn't seek it out personally. I recall when I was younger, I also thought this was a letdown because, Powerpuff Girls Christmas special, like sounds cool. It's not the best. It's if you compare it to the later seasons of Powerpuff Girls, I do kind of agree it is one of the better things that came out of it.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that's more just a sad statement on the state of the show rather than like a glowing praise. According to Matthew Valente, thank you for the super chat. The original plot for this special was a Home Alone parody. Really?
Mm-hmm.
With Princess? Or with the girls? Like all the villains? Like let me try to guess this. Maybe like the professor needs to sleep or something, and so the girls don't want to fight the villains, so instead they set up traps for them. That's my guess. I don't know.
I don't.
Do you know anything about that?
I honestly don't think it would have worked. I'll tell you that much.
Mm.
I don't see how. I mean, because basically, when it comes down to it, like that just makes me already think of the season 5 episode "Burglar Alarmed," which is almost the same thing, where the girls are basically just trying to prevent this burglar from waking up the professor because he's got a huge science conference the next day. By the way, "Burglar Alarmed," one of the most underrated episodes of season 5.
Maybe
I love
my
that
brain.
episode.
Maybe that's why my brain went there because I might have seen that episode.
Yeah, it's one of the best episodes of the season. I think so many people sleep on it. It is great. It is fun. It doesn't drag like most episodes do. It's slapstick comedy of a burglar trying to steal from the Powerpuff Girls. What kind of moron steals from the town superheroes? Great concept. I think that's a solid episode.
The Lucky Captain Rabbit King does.
Yeah, that's also true.
These villains in Townsville, I'm starting to think they may not be so bright.
Oh man. But yeah, I mean, overall, I like it, but that's coming from a diehard fan. I definitely see its shortcomings. I still enjoy it regardless, but mostly just for the peaks rather than the valleys.
That's fair. It's also weird in like the mayor and Miss Bellum have a cameo. The professor's in it, but in a very small role. Like it really does feel like it's just the Powerpuff Girls and Princess, and I guess Santa. Like Miss Keen's in it, but you know she's just kind of there at the beginning because they're at school. She doesn't do anything. Like I don't know. It's weird that for like a special, it just kind of feels so small. Like it's a special that technically spans like half the globe, but it feels like so much of this is so small and uninteresting, and it feels like there's 11-minute episodes that have much more interesting, bigger stakes, and I mean, let's be real. There's a million Christmas specials out there. If you're gonna do a Christmas special, come up with an interesting angle, and I don't think this was it.
Yeah.
Shadow, why are you so quiet?
Sorry, I moved away from my microphone. Sorry.
Yeah. Silly Lucky Captain Rabbit King. Lucky Captain Rabbit King nuggets are for the youth.
Solid episode.
Oh man. Yeah. I don't know. What would you want from a Powerpuff Girls Christmas episode if you could kind of like come up with any concept?
I would want more. Personally, I'd love an evil Santa.
You want Mojo Jojo to like steal Christmas.
No, I don't, because that's what the reboot did, and they did it horribly. They completely swear-worded it up.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't want to see that because I saw how bad it was, and I don't. Yeah, but I would like him to be Santa or something. That'd be good. He already looks the part. He's got the clothes.
There you go.
No, I'd like an evil Santa or something like that. I think that'd be cool. More like of a Christmas themed battle.
As soon as the Powerpuff Girls had to deliver the presents, though, my eyes glazed over because it's just like, why does every Christmas special do this? And it's not. I just
stick a pin in that. We'll come back in about 8 weeks, and we'll talk about that again.
I probably sound like I'm a lot more down on this than I am. I thought it was fine. Did it deserve to be nominated for an award? Well, I guess let me put it this way. The animation's good, and there's not really a lot of things that are eligible for an hour or more, like going by their criteria. Samurai Jack should have and could have been in this category, but it wasn't. So I guess it deserves it insofar as I don't know that there's a lot of competition. I can think of one or two other things, and we'll get to that, but
I had a hard time finding something, so I agree. I don't think there was a lot to really be submitted this year.
Yeah. But yeah, this was fine enough. If you want an average, you're not gonna hate it, but you're not gonna love it. Powerpuff Girls at Christmas. This is it. That's how I feel.
Well, according to Kevin McAllister, Pie Guy is a Scrooge.
What does Kevin McAllister know about Christmas?
Oh man.
They should. You know what I think I would have liked to see from the Powerpuff Girls?
What?
Just like some sort of Christmas themed monster. Like, I don't know. No, we don't need an explanation. The Powerpuff Girls fight Krampus. Like, who cares, right? Like, Make it some sort of like bizarre, evil, dark thing that just like tries to get rid of Christmas and they have to fight it. I don't know. It shouldn't be that hard to make a Powerpuff Girls episode, but apparently it really, really, really is. I guess because there's such a very specific tone to the comedy and the action, that's just very hard to replicate. But
Yep. Yep.
Macaulay Culkin's gonna be on this podcast.
Yep.
That was the sound of my hands hitting my cheeks, and that's about as much as a Kevin McAllister impression I'm doing.
Don't expect an impression from me either. I'm not doing that.
Powerpuff Girls have a chill Christmas, just vibing. Yeah. Honestly, I could see that as an episode that it could be one of those where they're just kind of like they're overworked and they just want to have like a fun, relaxing Christmas, but the crime is up because there's like so much to steal.
Kevin McAllister, there is an episode where the girls are viewed in a world where they were born normal.
What is normal? You know, I don't think.
I mean, yeah, normal is a relative concept, isn't it?
It's weak to fighting. That's all I know.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Okay. At any rate, yeah. So that's this. Final thoughts on this?
Yeah. I mean, it gets a nomination by default. I think it has its moments for sure. It definitely drags. It's one of those things where it's a 50-50 for me. I'm split like on between the good and bad. For every good thing, I have a bad thing to compliment it. So I'm just kind of stuck in the middle for me.
Make it a parody of the movie Krampus. Thank you, Matthew. Okay. Well, how would you rank these, Shadow?
Well, there's only 2 nominees to rank, so this is quite the challenge.
I guess I'll remind everyone, go vote in the poll. Link in the description.
Yep, make sure you vote. For me personally, I mean, really, I love Star Wars and I love Powerpuff Girls. I love them both, so I really don't feel bad putting one over the other. I don't really have to worry about bias because I do like them both. I'm going to put Star Wars at number 1 just because when it comes down to the craft and the make of what was put into it, Star Wars has more of a focus, more of a intent and goal in displaying excellent, exquisite animation, tying into the Star Wars mythos, telling, albeit a very segmented story, one that isn't dragged out. And, you know, yes, it's a bunch of smaller stories meshed together, but at the very least, we're not hanging on a scene forever, which you can give it that. And yeah, I mean, I think the highs of Clone Wars beat out the highs of Twas the Fight, for me personally, at least. I love the animation. I think Gendy did a great job, especially with the cinematography. This Powerpuff Girls special doesn't have as much, I mean, other than the leg shot that I mentioned earlier, there's not as much kind of art intent behind every boarded shot as there is with Clone Wars. So that's my pick.
That's fair. I'm gonna do my best Shadow impression here. Peaks and valleys. It's all about peaks and valleys.
It's like peaks and valleys. They rhyme.
So, yeah, I mean, although I was a little fatigued at watching the Clone Wars, I was a little bored in some places. I thought that the highlights were just off the walls great, whereas I don't really know that there's that much super positive about the Powerpuff Girls Christmas special, aside from just being the Powerpuff Girls. So, yeah, so Star Wars for me, that's number 1. PPG, number 2.
Yeah.
All right, what won it?
Gendy won it. Clone Wars took home the Emmy that year. So Gendy won in both the half-hour and hour-long category. He got 2 awards.
Good job, Gendaroo.
Good Gendy. I don't know if he left already, but
I think he's gone. He's in the parking lot.
I'll write him a letter and send him.
Okay. Matthew, how about Mojo pretending to be Santa doing a Grinch parody, except there's a twist ending where Mojo's heart shrinks at the end? Didn't CDCB say that like 2 minutes ago? And isn't that the plot of the... Yeah.
Literally the reboot episode.
Maybe they're mocking you, Shadow.
That is literally the reboot episode. Mojo steals Christmas as the Grinch, and then they do a Christmas Carol, completely change the Christmas media that they're referencing, dropping the Grinch plot point entirely, doing the three ghost thing of Christmas Carol, and then after that they go back to the Grinch, except his heart has changed sizes, and then all the civilians tell him, no, we want you to destroy Christmas, and he's like, oh, okay, and then his heart shrinks and he goes evil. So yes, they did that in the reboot, and it's terrible. Not to shut down your super chat, I'm not trying to be mean, but
what if the Powerpuff Girls became the ghosts of Christmas past, and they had to...
Bubbles Blossom was the ghost of Christmas past. Bubbles was present, and Buttercup was future.
Wow.
It was terrible. Don't watch it.
Okay. All right, anyway, honorable mentions. Shadow, what would you have put in there?
All right, so I'm going to be honest. I had a very hard time finding something for this. So I went with the one thing that I had at least something to say about, and that was the Jimmy Timmy Power Hour, which aired in May of 2004, so it qualifies just in the last month. I went with the first Jimmy Timmy Power Hour. It's cool because it's got two shows with different art styles, and the characters cross over into each other's art style. So Jimmy's 2D, Timmy's 3D. Yeah, that's like the best animation thing it has going for it, is just kind of the crossover of two different show art styles kind of meshing together. The plot's all right. I definitely remember liking the second one more, but I also haven't really seen these in a long time to go in depth about them.
I mean, it's definitely ambitious, like switching up the art styles and stuff. Like
it's got something going for it, but
probably wouldn't be Gendy. But you know what? No, deserves to be on here. Why not?
Yeah, for recognition. I think it was. I mean, it was a big thing for the network at the time. Like, you know, it's like, hey, we got two of our biggest shows, Timmy and Jimmy, crossing over. You know, it's a cool idea. Like, it's ambitious. But I don't think it would be Gendy either. But like I said, I don't know. I struggled to find very many things that I could pick. So that's what I went with.
Yeah, there's not a lot. So I went with a technicality.
Oh, okay.
Because if Samurai Jack hour-long special can be in the half-hour category, and a series of shorts can be considered an hour-long thing, then I can go ahead and nominate something that only aired in Canada, but it aired within the window. Okay. It's called the Powerpuff Girls See Me, Feel Me, Know Me.
Oh my gosh.
Woo!
Okay.
We got there. All right. Yeah, no,
Wait.
It's a great special. Yes?
That's only 22 minutes, though.
I don't care. Whatever, it's fine.
It's not an hour.
It could be an hour. You don't know.
No, it's not.
It's special. It's real special.
It's a special episode. It's not an hour.
I can break all the rules, Shadow. I'm gonna break all of them.
All right.
You know what? How about this, Shadow? How about this? I nominate See Me, Feel Me, Know Me stapled on to the end of the Powerpuff Girls Christmas special, all right? If they can do two 11-minute episodes of SpongeBob that aren't connected in any way, then I can staple two random Powerpuff Girls things together. How about that, Shadow?
Why don't you just nominate a whole season of a show at that point? Like, like if they can nominate
I nominate season 3 of SpongeBob.
If they can nominate 2 seasons of Star Wars Clone Wars as one thing, I mean, that's just ridiculous. I mean, to be fair, there was a Kim Possible special that fit the criteria. I've never seen it. I don't remember it. But A Stitch in Time. Toonjay just said it in the super chat. That was was Abracatastrophe viable? Maybe it was.
Oh, no. See, I was gonna say Abracatastrophe, but apparently it only aired... Wait, what? It aired in Canada in 2004. In the US, it aired in 2003.
Yeah, what month?
July 2000.
Oh, so it does barely make it.
Okay, good. Then fine. That's what I'll say. Although, I would probably go with Jimmy Timmy over that. Not that Abracatastrophe is bad, but just, I feel like... I don't know.
Yeah, no, that's why I remember seeing
this is
that
stupid.
Definitely.
The hour or more category is just dumb. It's just dumb. I get it. Like, I get it because there are some things that are really long, but just like, I don't know. You're on the same creative level as the BBG reboot.
CV, don't listen. At the very
don't
least,
listen.
Listen. At the very least, that means you're not worse. Which, I mean, I find that impossible to be worse than that show anyway. But you're not worse than it.
Yeah, thank you for the super chat.
Thank you for the
Toonjay,
super chat. Wow.
CDCB. Matthew, I don't know why you keep super chatting and stealing people's comments. I don't know. You're probably gonna redact these super chats, so please don't steal other people's comments. I'm way too loud compared to Shadow, so I'm screaming. Good. That's what we all deserve.
Okay, well then let me just turn Pie Guy down. Okay.
Did you know that in Abracatastrophe, Butch Hartman plays Flashback Boy / Web-eared Guy / Third Kid / Orderly?
Wow, that's an amazing cast of characters right there.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Oh, Tom Kenny's in it. It's Cupid.
Ooh.
That's right, because he's in everything. Oh, and you know what? Padme's in it as Vicky.
Oh. There, I adjusted my microphone settings. Do I sound better now?
Oh my gosh.
I would hope. But yeah.
It's impossibly worth it. The PBG reboot stares at the CW. All right, guys, we had a shorter show today. It's fine.
Yeah, there were only two nominees, so can't blame us for that.
Yeah.
All right. So, as we said, Clone Wars won the award. Do you want to go ahead and read off the results of the poll?
Yeah, there's that still.
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you think won the poll?
I don't know, man. I don't know who, when SpongeBob Ugg, won the poll last time, I just lost all faith.
Ugg.
SpongeBob Ugg. I've lost all faith in the poll now because of that. So we'll see. It could go either way.
Well, you know what? Powerpuff Girls, 'Twas the Fight Before Christmas, had 70% of the votes and won out of 210 votes.
Wow. Okay, that was more of a landslide than I thought. I expected it to be closer than that.
Well, to be fair, a lot of goodwill towards Star Wars has now been burned.
Yeah, but I don't know. I don't hear anyone say anything bad about the 2003 series. Like, most people look back at it fondly. So, okay. Well,
what do we got next week, Shadow?
All right. So, yeah, next week we're back to the half-hour category. Although, we're making a special exception, right? Because of the hour-long category being one thing.
Oh, yeah. I thought we were going to just surprise people at the end.
Oh.
Whatever. Fine. Yeah. The hour-long category for 2003 is only one nominee, so we're going to talk about that next week as well. We'll have a little bit of a longer show next week.
Yep. All right. So the 5 nominees for the half-hour category come down to, for the first time or last time, depending on how you look at it, As Told by Ginger with the episode And She Was Gone.
Wow.
Wow, that's different.
Someone once told me the grass was much greener.
Ooh. Another first/last timer is Kim Possible with the episode Crush.
Oh.
Yeah.
A lot of gingers.
Futurama with Jurassic Bark.
A lot of gingers.
A lot of gingers, man. And then, of course, we have The Simpsons with 3 Gays of the Condo. And SpongeBob SquarePants, New Student Starfish, and Clams.
Bum, bum.
Bum, bum.
All right, so I'm very excited to talk about Jurassic Park.
Yeah, I've heard about that episode before. I'm very aware it is a beloved Futurama episode. I've never seen it, though, so this is the first time.
Don't say anything, people in the chat. Don't you dare say anything. But yeah, The Simpsons, it's their second LGBT-based episode. I guess either way you look at it, it's the second one we're talking about and the second one that was nominated. So there's a lot of interesting stuff to talk about. What's the 1-hour episode? You'll have to wait and find out. But guess what? It's a documentary.
It's similar to what we've talked about before, but also different.
Kim Possible isn't Ginger. She just has red hair. It's the same thing. Is it not?
Uh-oh.
Is ginger like a technical term?
All right, guys. Well, I think this is a good time to call the show. We'll see you next week with the 2003 nominees. So look forward to that. And yeah, I hope you all have a fantastic rest of your week.
All right, guys. PIEGUYRULZ out.
See you guys.